Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me speak today for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I am very excited to be here. So first off, my name is Melissa Bruner. I currently work at Populous Financial Group, and I am their CIO, so their Chief Information Officer. And one thing that I want to talk about today is really my journey throughout my career as someone in IT, but I've actually had a lot of different experiences all throughout these past years within my different companies that I've worked at. And I find it to be very valuable. And I find that my heritage as an Asian American has played a lot of great factors in the success of my career. So let me start. So I'm a native New Yorker. I was born and raised in New York City, and I left New York when I went to college. So I went to college in a school called Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was my first time out of New York, and it was scary. My parents had immigrated to the United States. And again, I was born and raised, and they moved to New York City. So it was really, New York was the first and only place that I've known for a really long time of my life, and moving to a different state was very nerve-wracking for me. And I started my journey at Carnegie Mellon. I studied biological sciences, and so that sort of starts my journey. That's the first thing that people ask me when I interview for jobs or when I let people know about my background is, you're in IT right now. How did you get from biology to IT? And so there's been a lot of different things that have gone on in my career that's gotten me to where I am today. So studying biology at Carnegie Mellon, I realized that there was a lot of great knowledge that I gained as a scientist, and I had a lot of great skills that I acquired, analytical skills, a lot of critical thinking skills. And then I realized that studying more of the business related courses and partaking in those really sparked my interest. And I thought, I really want to get more into the business side of things. And so I did my master's at Carnegie Mellon, where I pursued more of the healthcare route. I did my background and my thesis in information technology within healthcare. So that spurred my interest and my love of technology, and started my career at Johnson & Johnson in IT, which was, as everyone knows, J&J is a big healthcare company. And so talking about my background and how that's really started to play a big role was the first company I worked for at J&J. They have a lot of great affinity groups, right? And so the first thing I did was I joined the Asian American Pacific Islander affinity group at J&J. And that's where I was able to really learn more about the career paths of people with similar heritage and background as me, and really learn of how they got to where they were today. And there are a lot of inspiring people that I've met throughout just informally and formal conversations. And one thing that I did was I made sure to get a mentor with similar background and similar heritage and culture as me, just so that they understood where I would come from if I had a specific challenge. And really just, they understood, me having parents that were immigrants and the struggles, and really what was important for me and for my success within my family. And so that's really what sparked it all, right? Was to be able to find someone like-minded, and they were able to help and mentor me as I grew throughout my career. And so then fast forward a number of years working in IT within healthcare, I decided to move to Citibank, which is a complete change in industry, right? So Citibank, as many of you know, is a financial services, it's a financial institution company in the financial services industry. And so I jumped into Citi and I worked in risk management, which is very different from working in IT. I was in a digital role at the time, going into Citibank financial services, working in risk management. So it was completely a big change. And when I first got interviewed, people asked, well, what makes you qualified for this job? Why are you coming from digital IT into something that's a lot more analytical? I had to do a lot more portfolio analysis. And so that was a lot of people's questions. And even when I got the job, people were sort of saying, how did you get this job, right? Why are you here? And so even by that time, right, I had already gotten that question because I was a biology major, and a lot of people at J&J and IT, they had studied information systems, and they'd studied a lot more technical type of subjects within their college years. And so my first thing was, it's not about the content that I learned, right? Yes, biology, and I learned a lot of great science, but it's how I apply the skills, the transferable skills throughout my years that make me a great candidate for this job. So as a scientist, I was able to, like I said, get great critical thinking, analytical skills. I'm very adaptable. And by that point, I had shown my adaptability because I switched different disciplines of study, right? So I did very pure science, did research in a cancer lab, and then I quickly moved into healthcare and IT. So that was my sticking point, was I am extremely adaptable. I can learn a lot of different topics very quickly, and I can apply not the content that I've learned throughout my career, but the skills that I've gotten. And so that's, again, what landed me my job at Citi. And I would constantly get that question even throughout my career. And so again, fast forward another number of years throughout my career at Citi, I joined an affinity group for Asian American Pacific Islanders. And that was a really great experience because I got to, again, meet a lot of different people, not just living in Dallas. I was in Dallas at the time, but all over the world, right? So these affinity groups, I was lucky that Citi is a global company. So these affinity groups not only existed within a specific region or a specific state, but they're all over the country, all over the world, and they're all connected in some way. And so I got to meet great leaders globally. And so that really was inspiring to me as to how I can really grow my career, not just within the current state that I was working in, the current group, but how do I leverage my network that I just created through global exposure. So with Citi, the next step for me was I actually traveled all over the world and took on a number of assignments. So I worked in the Philippines, in the consumer banking group. And then I moved to London. I worked in the private banking group. And then I moved to New York and I worked in the market risk group. And so, back to my old stomping grounds, my parents were quite happy that I moved to New York. And then at the end of, moving across the world, I said, I want to go back to Dallas. I really love Texas. And again, my network that I've gained through my heritage and my interest in staying in touch with my roots, I was able to come back to Dallas and continue my career at Citi. And then I happened to fall upon my job at my current company, Populous Financial Group. And at Populous, I joined as their VP of Risk. And after a number of years there, I became the Chief Information Officer. And again, the same thing applied to all my other roles when I transitioned into a new job or to a new company. People asked, what makes you relevant, right? Like, you have such a diverse background in regards to just the steps that you've taken to get to where you are. You've worked in risk. Now you're going to come back to IT as the CIO. How are you going to do that? And my answer still remains the same. It's the transferable skills that I've gained throughout my decades of experience, right? It's not the fact that I knew how to write code. It's not the fact that, because that's not what I do today, right? It's not those pieces. It's not the content. But as a leader, it's important to me to understand that you're successful through a lot of skills that can be used in any discipline, in any industry. And that's really what led me to my position today, is the fact that I can utilize my experiences in all of the industries that I've worked in to be a successful leader. When you get to a certain stage in your career, you're not necessarily just focused on producing content, although that is very, very important. But you're also focused on how do you work well with others? How do you communicate with others? As a CIO, you work with a lot of different types of people. And so it's not just working with very technical individuals and being able to speak and communicate with them, but you really work with a lot of more business-minded folks with very sharp business acumen that might not necessarily be as technical as your team. And you have to be able to wear multiple hats, be able to bridge all of the different mindsets and goals that everybody might have within an organization. And those are not skills that you learn by going to school and studying a subject, right? It's skills that you learned after you go to school and you've gained a lot of that content knowledge. You learn those skills as a leader as to how to go about conversations and work on communication. And then, I've touched upon this before. Another big thing was the network. A lot of people understand and they say networking is important, but it's hard to put it in practice. And so one thing that I think was very important in my career was to recognize the importance of networking and to actually do it, right? To not just say, hey, I'm going to set up a one-on-one with you one day. Actually do it. Follow up with those leaders, because a lot of those leaders that you look up to, that you aspire to be, they're in that position likely because they've had a great network and they were able to know how to navigate their career through their network. And so a lot of the times these people always have their door open. My door is always open for people who want to talk about next steps for themselves, or just, hey, how do I talk to my boss or my peer about this issue that I'm having? All these leaders that you admire, they have those skill sets and they are always most likely willing to share that and share their insight there. So that's, my second, I think my second thing that I think is important in regards to my success in my career is being able to utilize your network, understand the power of networking, and to not just think of it as a side option for you, right? It should be one of your main focus and goals throughout your career is, how do I build my network? And that's what's going to make you successful. And not just, how do I build my network to get that promotion or to, get to that next step, because not everyone wants to do that, but it's building a network is critical for you to be able to get that support, right? In regards to just emotional support or just professional support. If you don't know how to even technically work on a specific facet of your job and you're just stuck, having a network helps you be able to navigate that too. And so I think that's, there are challenges that I've had within my career, right? In regards to getting those questions of why do you belong? You didn't work in this field for 10, 20 years. How are you here? And I think the challenges were overcome through strong networking, strong mentorship, and recognition of your skill sets, right? And recognition that skill sets aren't just how many years have you worked in a job. It's how have you been able to successfully work with multiple types of people in multiple industries. And that's really my story of my success in a few minutes. And I would also say that, one important thing is to really look at your management and understand how they operate. I'm very lucky to have such a strong support system both personally and professionally. But my management that I work with, my peers and my boss, they are so incredibly supportive. And that's very important too, to be able to say, okay, yeah, my peers are supportive of me. My boss is supportive of me. A great example is I just had a child. I have a 3-month-old at home as the CIO of my company. And I know for a fact that that's not very common. And there was nothing but support for me, my role, my family, my personal situation, growing my family. And that's what makes me wake up every day with a 3-month-old, sleep deprived, but happy to come to work and feeling like I can be successful in my role still, right? Even with all of these personal changes and challenges that I'm facing. So again, it's having that support system and knowing that the people around you, and you can find people around you and find a company that will support you. And that's my story. So again, thank you so much for having me today, Junior Achievement. It's been such a great time. I've spent many years with Junior Achievement. I feel like it's a wonderful organization that, again, has also helped me in my career in a number of ways. And so thank you again for having me. It's been great speaking, and I will hopefully connect with a number of you after you all see this video.
Hey guys, my name is Stephen Arroyo. Happy Asian American Pacific Islander Month. I am glad I get to speak to you all today. I'm a small business owner at EKP Legacy Group LLC, a startup sales and marketing firm. We have been in business since 2018, and we work with several different Fortune 500 companies. I grew up in West Covina, California. Growing up was really tough for me with the different types of environments I was in. I've seen some of the good, some of the bad, and I only wanted to see good in my future to come. I started to see how hard my family had to work to provide for each other. My family came here to America from the Philippines. Coming from a Filipino background, all I heard from them was, go into the medical field like your cousins. Do this, do that, and just kept on being compared all the time. But at the end of the day, I had to do my own thing. And I couldn't let anyone stop me from hitting my goals. My biggest goal I saw was that when I do have a family of my own, I can provide and give them what I didn't have growing up. I can't say yes to that trip. Yes, we could go on vacation. Yes, we could, splurge and, not have a problem at the end of the day. I really wanted to live my life on my own terms and do whatever I want when I want. I then worked for a few face-to-face sales companies, and that is where I was able to absorb what I wanted to do with my life. I loved helping people become better in their everyday lives. Starting my company, I can also help give people an opportunity to change their life. I had a few conference calls with a few of my mentors, and these calls really opened up my eyes with them talking about the passion they have for helping other people, helping them impact other people's lives and careers. The reason for this passion is that they have been through the grind. They were able to start from the bottom and work their way up to the top and just kept on hustling. It does not matter what industry you're in or how much money you're making right now. What matters is really how many people you help get into a much better situation than they are already in. We really got to bring people back up together. So you got to find out and ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you passionate about it? You got to figure that out as well. And at the end of the day, you just got to do it and make it happen. Do not make an excuse to not be successful. Don't waste any time. Don't blame anyone but yourself and fix it right away. You have to hold yourself accountable. If there are if there are already people that are doing it already, making money, making the grades you want, or living a lifestyle you see yourself wanting, you got to ask yourself, why not me? The only reason why it isn't happening is because of you. Find a coach, mentor, business partner, and ask them how they did it. You got to find someone that's going to be able to hold you accountable. Ask them what motivated them. You got to copy and paste it 10 times and you'll make it better at the end of the day, and you'll be able to master the process. You cannot stack your deck if you're not ready. There must be an even ground of what all you can handle at one time. Give yourself a timer. I give myself 5 seconds to decide my next move. The only way you will grow is if you grow 10% better every single day. Define what you're writing. Define what writing your paycheck is, or in this case, what your next report card will be. You got to act your wage, act your age. Results don't come from sitting there. You got to do the work. You have to be relentless. It is a must to have that laser focus and have a chip over your shoulder. Take it to the next level till you can call your own shots and you never miss. You got to master those conversations, the easy ones and the hard ones. You can't sugarcoat anything. Nobody likes a liar. Follow up and do what you say you're going to do. Put your effort into it and make it golden. Find out what makes you tick. Be the master at whatever it is you do and focus on the task at hand. I have this quote, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Grow that confidence in yourself and by believing in yourself first. Believe in what you are doing. You have to gain the knowledge of what you want to become, and you will eventually become it. I'll leave it with this. Your perception is your reality. What helped me the most was getting all the negative impulses out of my head and stepping out of my comfort zone. You don't get better if you're stuck in your comfort zone. You must step out of it. And that's it. You got to just keep pushing yourself and keep working hard and just keep fighting for it. You got to roll with the punches. Thank you. Again, my name is Steven Arroyo. Nice to meet you guys.
My name is Celine Nguyen. you can call me, the last name is W-I-N, is Win. It's easy for you. And I am currently a branch manager of East West Bank in Plano. As my roles, I am managing the employees, developing and attaining sales goals. That's my job. I'm doing marketing plan strategy, delivering great customer service to customers, connecting with customers, and also I oversee the branch operations to ensure the branch is in compliance. Before I move on to my education career journey, I want to tell you how I land in banking industry. So I was same as you guys on high school, and I still learning in English because back that time I came to US probably about 3 years ago before, and I attend high school, freshman, sophomore, and I don't know what I need to do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I'm still learning in English by that time. But I success. I graduate high school and I attend college. When I attend the college, my friends, they are going to the medical field and they are going to a pharmaceutical. You know, there's a lot of careers out there. There's a lot of degrees out there. It's pharmaceutical, pharmacist, or medical. It's a lot of medical billing, medical billing and codings. There's a lot of medicals out there. So, but I decided to go to pharmaceutical. So I was in college. I was study hard, and I got my degree. So actually, I worked for a pharmacy technician. And after I graduate, I got a job. They offered me a job at CVS. And I work at CVS is 24 hours, you know, it's like opening 24 hours at CVS. So at the beginning, I love it. I enjoy what I'm doing. And I'm reacting with the customer every day. I interacting with customer every day. I work with them. I divided medicines. I do a medicine. I do a label. I do a call out. I check with the insurance. It's a lot of things to do as a pharmacy tech. And it's keep myself busy every day. Keep myself busy every day, which is nonstop. And of course, after you've done this, you have to do another thing. You have to do. It's a lot of things you have to do during a day. And I have to work also on the weekend. So I feel very tired because myself every day, every week is work. And I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to hang out with my friends. I don't have enjoy my life. So say, you know what? I realized myself probably this job is not gonna fit on me. And while I'm thinking that, thinking I'm not gonna go with the pharmacy techs anymore. I'm gonna find a different career. But before you find a different career, you have to think yourself what you want to do at that point. And one day, my friends call me and say, you know what? If you want to try, you can give yourself a try in the banking industry. I have another opening position in a bank teller, and they are looking for a bilingual language. And I said, okay, you know what? Of course, why not? Why I'm not going to give myself a try since I don't want to become a pharmacy tech anymore, right? So I give myself a try. I submit application, and I got interview, and I got hired as a part-time teller. So I feel proud of myself at that point because I can speak my Vietnamese languages and I can speak English. So that's just the key, the main key that they hire me, right? Because they need a bilingual language, and they have a lot of Vietnamese customers. So I feel great because I can help the customers. I can support customer. I can advise customer. I can solve the problem with them. So I love it because I love to talk to them, and because I interesting in the banking careers. So I move on so far. I move on. And since that time, I was in part-time teller. in order for me to learn more and receive a new skill or building my professional level, I have to pursue my jobs as a full-time. So I got in full-time. They accept me as a full-time bank teller. So I was doing a bank teller job. I'm very interested. I said, okay, maybe this is going to be fit me. Let's settle. Let's stay in banking and give myself another try. And I was in full-time teller, and then I was in charge for the customer service. I was new accounts, the opening a new account for customers, business customer ownership. I'm helping them. And also I've been in management roles. And right now I am a branch manager. So it's a long journey for me to move up to as of I am right now. So in banking, I realize in each banking position, my success is I can meet and work with people. I can learn new skill in each different position that I transfer. I can build my level of professional knowledge and experience. So back then, when I don't even rethinking that I'm going to end up with the banking industry, I don't even think about it. But because of I want to be growth in my career, I continue education and get a bachelor management, business management degree. So which is end up with me, you know what? I'm satisfied. I'm happy with what I am right now. So why don't I stay in the banking? Because there's a few reasons why I stay in banking. I am a people person. I love to talk to people. I enjoy meeting new people. I love to talking to people. I love to helping them to solve the problem, or I advise them a better solution, or I can provide them for all great customer service that in banking they have. So with that said, I landed in my banking job. And with that said, I am staying in the banking industry, as you guys see, until I am right now. With my career journey, I want to share with you and I want to give you some tips. Because of my long run in the banking field, I want you to start thinking about your future right now. You have to planning, and as you begin to plan your career. In a few more years, you're going to graduate high school, you're going to start in a college, and you have to decide what you want to do. What do you want to become? You can do whatever you want. I've been through with a different variety roles. So that's helped me a very strong skill. That's built up my knowledgeable. That's built up my experience that I can share with all of you, right? So to me, don't be afraid to take challenge. Think about your passion. Be listening, learning what you can, and sharing with your potential skill. Maybe you're not going to fit with this career, but you're going to fit with other career. You never know, right? If you don't give yourself a try. So don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Keep your mind open and you will find yourself a great fit. Even though this first job, you don't like it, you don't want it, don't be afraid to move on. Don't be afraid to taking another opportunity, another challenging that don't think, okay, maybe that doesn't fit. Okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to do it. Don't think that way. If you work hard and you do your best, you will success of what you want to do, of what you want to be, right? So my tips is I encourage you to explore as many careers as opportunities out there. Give yourself a try and do not limit yourself. So at least you can find and you can determine which is the best fit for you in the future. And I'm pretty sure once you give yourself a try and you do not afraid whatever you want to do, you will success and you will find yourself a great fit. I hope this video can share with you some tips and that you can be enjoy and gives you some kind of idea of what you're gonna planning in your career after you graduate in high school. And thank you for JA to allowing me to share with you all about my career journey. Thank you.